Hello everyone, and welcome to Reading with Mrs. Adams. I'm Mrs. Adams, and today's theme is Thanksgiving. I've selected 3 stories and 2 poems with that theme. But before we begin reading, I would like to share with you a few things about Thanksgiving, this special holiday that we celebrate here in the United States. Now, Thanksgiving, or a Day of Thanks, is also celebrated in lots of different countries throughout the world. But we celebrate this special day on the 4th Thursday of November. The very first Thanksgiving was celebrated in Plymouth about 400 years ago. Now, Plymouth was just a small village in what is now the state of Massachusetts. The Pilgrims, and those were just people who traveled a great distance to a foreign land, the Pilgrims came from England, and they were seeking religious freedom. They wanted to be able to worship God the way that they felt was right for them. First they went to Holland, and then they came to the United States on a ship called the Mayflower. Now, these Pilgrims, when they landed, it was actually fall and way too late to plant any crops. They barely were able to build enough structures for housing to keep them warm in the winter, and they didn't have enough food, and so many of the Pilgrims died. But those that still lived in the spring were able to plant crops, and they befriended the Native Americans who were here, and the Native Americans showed them the best crops to plant and how to hunt for deer and wild turkey and how to fish and the best places to do all those things. So in the fall, they were able to harvest all of these crops, and they had lots of meat, probably venison from deer, and perhaps wild turkey. We know fish for sure, and other seafood. And they had plenty of food. So they chose a special day to give thanks to God for all the blessings that He had given them. And they invited their friends, the Native Americans, and they came and had a feast. And they had this huge party with lots of food, and they celebrated for 3 days. They played games, they ate food. The Pilgrims thanked God for their newfound friends. That was a way that they could be thankful to God for everything He had done for them. We've continued that tradition throughout the years, and today we still celebrate Thanksgiving. And it's a wonderful time to gather with friends and family and just to remember how much God has blessed us. Our first story today is called Sometimes It's Turkey, Sometimes It's Feathers. This is written and illustrated by Lorna Ballion. And it's about a little old lady named Mrs. Gum. And she finds a treasure, a freckled turkey egg. And she's imagining how wonderful her Thanksgiving is going to be. I hope you enjoy. Sometimes it's turkey, sometimes it's feathers. Sometimes it's turkey, sometimes it's feathers, by Lorna Ballion. Sometimes it's turkey, sometimes it's feathers, by Lorna Ballion, Abingdon Press, Nashville. For Blanche Eisenacher, who talks with the animals. Little old Mrs. Gump found an egg. She was hunting for wild mushrooms, and there on the ground, nearly hidden in a messy nest of leaves, was a large cream-colored egg with freckles. Yes, indeed, an egg with freckles. Imagine. She filled her mushroom basket with soft new April grass, placed the egg gently in the center, and hurried home with her treasure. Mrs. Gump was so excited she almost stepped on Cat, who was sleeping on the steps. "Wake up, Cat," she said. Wake up and look at our Thanksgiving dinner. An egg, Cat, a freckled egg, a genuine turkey egg, I do believe. We'll try to hatch it, Cat, she said, covering the egg with a soft piece of flannel and setting it in a warm place. We'll hatch it and feed it and let it grow plump. What a fine Thanksgiving dinner we will have. Imagine. For days and days they watched it and turned it and warmed it until finally one day in May they heard a tap, 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 and there on the freckled shell was a tiny crack. Tap, 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 and the crack became a tiny hole. They watched and listened and watched. It's hatching, Cat, said Mrs. Gum. Oh, what a fine Thanksgiving dinner we will have. It was a sticky, wet, bony little lump that tumbled out of the cracked, freckled shell. As it dried, it became a fuzzy little lump with beady black eyes and a sharp beak. He's hungry, Cat, said Mrs. Gum. We'll feed him oatmeal and fatten him up. What a fine Thanksgiving dinner we will have. Imagine. Did that turkey eat? He ate everything in sight. Oatmeal, Wheaties, cornmeal and bread, seeds, nuts, insects, sand, and cat food. Did that turkey grow? Turkey's growing fast, Cat, said Mrs. Gum. He'll be plenty big for Thanksgiving dinner. In June, while Mrs. Gum was planting seeds, Turkey was eating the strawberries. While Mrs. Gum was looking for strawberries, Turkey was eating as many seeds as he could find. Never mind, Cat, said Mrs. Gum. The more he eats, the plumper he gets, and what a fine Thanksgiving dinner we will have. Imagine. Turkey ate raspberries in July, red raspberries, black raspberries, white unripe raspberries, green peas, inchworms, grass seeds, and cat food. Tisk, tisk, Cat, said Mrs. Gum. Raspberry jam would have been tasty with our Thanksgiving dinner, but at least there will be plenty of turkey. The grapes grew sweet and purple in August, and Turkey ate them. Grapes, lima beans, caterpillars, pea gravel, and cat food. There will be no grape jelly this year, Cat, said Mrs. Gum. But what a plump Thanksgiving turkey we will have. Imagine. The September wind blew the thorn apples off the tree, and Turkey gobbled them up as fast as they fell. Thorn apples, weed seeds, grasshoppers, ladybugs, and cat food. My, said Mrs. Gum. Have you ever seen a plumper bird than that, Cat? What a fine Thanksgiving dinner we will have. Mrs. Gum shelled corn in October. Turkey helped and Cat watched. The corn will make him tasty and tender, Cat. My, what a delicious Thanksgiving dinner we will have. Preparations for Thanksgiving Day began early in November. Mrs. Gum found the hatchet and ground some corn for cornbread. She sharpened the hatchet and cooked cranberry sauce. She honed the hatchet and baked pumpkin pie. She polished the hatchet and mixed up an onion and chestnut stuffing. She picked up the sharp, honed, polished hatchet and said, "Wait here, Cat. It's time to prepare that big, fat turkey. What a fine Thanksgiving dinner we will have." What a feast! Cornbread, all warm and crumbly, bright red, sticky sweet cranberry sauce, spicy golden pumpkin pie, a steaming bowl of fragrant onion and chestnut stuffing, and cat food. "Sit right down, Cat," said Mrs. Gum. "I'll bring that nice plump turkey to the table. What a fine Thanksgiving this will be." "I have so much to be thankful for," said Mrs. Gum. "A Thanksgiving feast and 2 good friends to share it with. Imagine!" "He'll be bigger and much plumper next Thanksgiving," said little old Mrs. Gum. "Imagine!" And that is the end of Sometimes It's Turkey, Sometimes It's Feathers by Lorna Ballion. Our first poem today, boys and girls, is called The First Thanksgiving. The First Thanksgiving by Robin Adams. The Pilgrims wanted freedom, and so they sailed away. They stopped in Holland, but decided not to stay. Then to America the Pilgrims came. On a great ship, the Mayflower was its name. They landed in Plymouth and built houses of wood. They grew pumpkins and corn, their Indian friends were good. To celebrate the harvest, they had a 3-day feast. Both Indians and Pilgrims brought good things to eat. Our next story, boys and girls, is called Thanksgiving is Here. It's written and illustrated by Diane Good. I hope you enjoy Thanksgiving is Here. Thanksgiving is Here by Diane Good. Thanksgiving is Here by Diane Good, Scholastic Incorporated. For Peter. When the sun comes up at Grandma's house, the Thanksgiving turkey goes in the oven, and then the doorbell rings. Ding dong! Open up, Grandma, it's me, Maggie, and Peter, and Mom and Pop and Baby Jack. We've all come to help at Thanksgiving. We peel the potatoes and roll out the dough. We all love to cook at Thanksgiving. Ding dong! The cousins have come. They brought the new baby. But whose dog is that? Come in, come in. The sofa goes here and the piano goes there. Ding dong! We need lots of room at Thanksgiving. Ding dong, ding dong, look who's back. More uncles and aunts, cousins and friends. They all push and drag the tables and chairs. We need a big table at Thanksgiving. Ding dong, surprise, yoo-hoo! I think everyone's here. At Grandma's house, the chairs don't match, but we don't mind. We all have a place at the table. Yakety yak at Grandma's house, we all kick back. Wah, wah! It sounds like someone is hungry. In the kitchen, cranberries pop and corn cakes sizzle. We all love Grandma's cooking. At Grandma's house, we wait for the dinner bell. Ding-a-ling, ding-a-ling. Grandma rings. Everyone come to the table. Thanksgiving dinner is ready. At Grandma's house, we all give thanks. Unfold our napkins. And eat. We pass the corn cakes and spoon on the gravy. Mmm. We eat till we're full at Thanksgiving. At Grandma's house, we help clear the table. We all wash and dry at Thanksgiving. At Grandma's house, we can take off our shoes. Ah. Or walk around the block. Clickety-clack. Then we all sit and chat, yakety-yak, until Grandma rings again. Ding-a-ling. Everyone back to the table. Ooh, my favorite, pumpkin pie. And music, zing, 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 of course. At Grandma's house, we're never too full for dessert. We've all had a happy Thanksgiving. When the sun goes down, we get our coats and kiss goodbye. And we don't cry because everyone's going home. Thank you, Grandma. Don't worry, Grandpa. We'll be back. And that's the end of Thanksgiving is Here by Diane Good. Our second poem today, boys and girls, is called Mr. Turkey. I hope you enjoy it. Mr. Turkey. I heard Mr. Turkey say, gobble, gobble, gobble. Soon will be Thanksgiving Day. Gobble, gobble, gobble. People say it is great fun, but I think that I shall run and wait until the day is done. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Mr. Turkey tucked his head. Gobble, gobble, gobble. In his feathers deep and red. Gobble, gobble, gobble. But they caught him by the wall, stuffed and ate him, wings and all. And nevermore will the turkey say, gobble, gobble, gobble. Our final story today, boys and girls, is called Turkey Trouble. It's written by Wendy Silvano and illustrated by Lee Harper. I hope you enjoy Turkey Trouble. Turkey Trouble by Wendy Silvano, illustrated by Lee Harper. Turkey Trouble. Turkey Trouble by Wendy Silvano, illustrated by Lee Harper. Scholastic Incorporated. To Dad, who inspires courage, endurance, and love, W.S. To Krista, Naomi, Nathan, Will, and Dan, L.H. Turkey was in trouble. Bad trouble. The kind of trouble where it's almost Thanksgiving and you're the main course. But Turkey had an idea. What if he didn't look like a turkey? What if he looked like a horse? Surely Farmer Jake wouldn't eat a horse for Thanksgiving. His costume wasn't bad. In fact, Turkey looked just like a horse. Almost. Moo, said Cow. Stop horsing around, Turkey. How'd you know it was me? Moaned Turkey. Too short, said Cow. Gobble, gobble, grumbled Turkey. But looking at Cow gave Turkey a new idea. Surely Farmer Jake wouldn't eat a cow for Thanksgiving. His costume wasn't bad. In fact, Turkey looked just like a cow. Almost. Oink, 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 snorted Pig. Holy cow, is that you, Turkey? How'd you know it was me? Groaned Turkey. Too skinny, said Pig. Gobble, gobble, grumbled Turkey. But looking at Pig gave Turkey a new idea. Surely Farmer Jake wouldn't eat a pig for Thanksgiving. His costume wasn't bad. In fact, Turkey looked just like a pig. Almost. Bah, bah, bleated Sheep. Quit being a ham, Turkey. How'd you know it was me? Wailed Turkey. Too clean, said Sheep. Gobble, gobble, grumbled Turkey. But looking at Sheep gave Turkey a new idea. Surely Farmer Jake wouldn't eat a sheep for Thanksgiving. His costume wasn't bad. In fact, Turkey looked just like a sheep. Almost. Cock-a-doodle-doo, crowed Rooster. Bad idea, Turkey. How'd you know it was me? Howled Turkey. Too brown, squawked Rooster. Gobble, gobble, grumbled Turkey. But looking at Rooster gave Turkey a new idea. In fact, it was his best idea yet. He already looked a lot like Rooster. This costume would be easy. Surely Farmer Jake wouldn't eat a rooster for Thanksgiving. Or would he? Rooster might be his next choice. Turkey worried, since roosters and turkeys look so much alike. Oh, gobble, gobble. Farmer Jake came into the barn. Turkey, turkey, turkey. Come out, wherever you are. Where's the turkey? Asked Farmer Jake's wife. I don't know, he said. I looked everywhere. Oh dear, what will we do without a turkey for Thanksgiving? Well, we could always eat the rooster, I guess. Oh no, Rooster, thought Turkey. He looked around desperately for one more idea. Then he found it. Peppers, mushrooms, onions, tomatoes. His costume wasn't bad. In fact, it was Turkey's best yet. Ding dong! Happy Thanksgiving! Did you order pizza? Asked Farmer Jake's wife. Nope, he said, but it's a good idea. So they all sat down and gobbled up the pizza, and it was Turkey's best Thanksgiving ever. Turkey's Pizza Farm. And that is the end of Turkey Trouble by Wendy Silvano, illustrated by Lee Harper. I hope you enjoyed all the stories and poems about Thanksgiving today, boys and girls. And I want you to know I am very thankful for you because you chose to watch Reading with Mrs. Adams. If you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, you can do so by pushing the little button right there. That way you can get all the latest videos, stories, and poems on Reading with Mrs. Adams. Always remember one truth, boys and girls, that God loves you so much. So dare to dream the impossible because all things are possible with God. I love you, and I'll see you next time on Reading with Mrs. Adams. Goodbye.